B1 brothers and sisters, welcome to Blacklogic. And this evening we'll be talking about Tyson Foods, but we also had some other topics to cover very, very quickly. But let me just give you some context on Tyson Foods before we get into the other topics, because critics argue that Tyson Foods have been more vigilant in hiring process to prevent the situation from occurring. Now, what are we talking about? We understand that there's some sort of propaganda scandal that Tyson Foods is stating that there's no plot, there's no scheme to hire 42 or even 84,000 illegal immigrants, aka asylum seekers, to some of their plants with all the massive plants that they've been closing. Tyson Foods have closed 9 plants so far. But this alleged scandal has sparked outrage and raised questions about the company's hiring practice. Tyson Foods claimed they conducted a thorough investigation and found that some employees were using fraudulent identification documents. Okay, you didn't do your verification. Supposedly Tyson Foods does e-verify some other sources to verify people's employment. But now they're finding that people are working there unlawfully and that they do not pan out. They're not having the right documentations and identifications. So as a result, they were let go, leaving many families supposedly without source of income where they shouldn't have been there in the first place. But then you have critics, depending on what side you lean to, left, right, up or down, green or black, blue or red, doesn't matter. They argue that Tyson Foods should have been moving or been more vigilant in their hiring process to prevent these situations from occurring. Okay. The company's reputation has taken a hit now that they're facing repercussions for their actions. So as we comb through this, family, we're going to cover some other things here. We're definitely going to go over some other things, and we're going to get into it because either this is a plot to undermine the American people in general, or is it propaganda? I don't know. Okay, so this first one here, undocumented immigrants have the right to bear arms, the right to own guns. It's getting very dangerous, family. It's getting very dangerous for American citizens, and especially for foundational Black Americans. It's getting very, very dangerous. I'm not kidding you guys. This is not conjecture. This is not scary, because once we comb through this very quickly, you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of privileges, a lot of rights, a lot of resources, a lot of benefits are then being handed out to people who are in the country unlawfully. And this is a smack in the face to everyone. This is a smack in the face for everyone. So let's get into it. It states here, a judge this month dropped gun charges against an illegal migrant in Illinois. And they sparked some further debate and, people outraged with the Second Amendment, etc. The U.S. District Court, Judge Sharon Coleman of the North District of Illinois referenced law. For some reason, I didn't look her up, family, but Sharon Coleman sounds like a Black name. Okay, some of you look it up. Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong, but it just sounds like a Black name, okay? Is that the court rulings in dismissing firearm possession charges against Mr. Flores. He was legally or unlawfully in the United States when he possessed a handgun in Little Village neighborhood of Chicago on June 1st of 2020. It goes on to say that the court finds that Mr. Flores' criminal record containing no improper use of a weapon, as well as non-violent circumstances of his arrest. It's kind of Moxie Rowan. It's kind of like this huge contradiction. He hasn't never garnished a weapon improperly. He's never been evicted or convicted or alleged or whatever of violent crimes. And so basically they're stating that he's innocent, but I'm like, okay, but he isn't, because he's unlawfully in the country. I'm just saying. I want you to go to another country. And obtain a firearm. Okay, I didn't say lawfully purchased, because again, I don't know how he received the firearm, because we supposed to have all these gun laws, and some people, just to let you know, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm just speaking the truth with a little bit of black bias. With all these supposed gun laws and gun checks and verified and FBI reports that we're supposed to have, because every time I purchase firearms, they contact the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Defense Agency, NATO, okay, the United Nations. They contact everybody. They say, is he an international criminal, a national criminal, a regional criminal, a district criminal, a neighborhood criminal, a community criminal? All of these people does all these checks every time I buy a firearm. Now, of course, I'm kidding, family. Not all of those checks, but damn. I don't know how everyone is getting guns so freely in America. It's almost like they drive through certain neighborhoods and drop off boxes of guns. I digress. Okay. It states that of his arrest does not support a finding that he poses a risk to public safety such that he cannot be trusted to use a weapon responsibly and should be deprived of his Second Amendment right to bear arms. So this judge is stating, because he did nothing wrong, that he should be awarded, he should be rewarded, he should be somehow legally covered and protected under the U.S. constitutional law. Just because you set foot in America does not mean you're a citizen. Just because you step foot in America, our Constitution doesn't pertain to you in a beneficial sort of way. I'm not getting this. Maybe I'm wrong. But this is Coleman. This is the judge who was appointed under President Barack Obama, wrote in her 8-page filing paper, Mr. Flores was charged under Title 18 of the U.S. Criminal Code, which legally disallows undocumented individuals to possess firearms and ammunition to receive any firearm or any ammunition which has been shipped or transported in interstate or foreign commerce. So how did she supersede the U.S. Criminal Code? Do judges have that much power? It is so. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the Supreme Court is all powerful. Like, at the end of the day, family, the Supreme Court is the most powerful people in the world. The U.S. Supreme Court, they're the most powerful people in the world. And that's why people, what's the judge's name? Clarence Thomas. That's why a lot of people was getting on Clarence Thomas' bumper. Not only is he a coon, we know that, but he was hanging out with all these billionaires and he wasn't paying for anything. I wonder why some of these people stay billionaires. I digress. I'm just asking questions. And then it states here, a customer shops for a pistol at Freddie Bear Sports Outdoor in Tingley Park, Illinois. An illegal immigrant recently had his gun charge dismissed with a judge citing present in previous rulings. That is what's going on right now, family. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. These are all the things that illegal immigrants are receiving coming inside the country. It's quite remarkable. It's quite disrespectful. It's intriguing. It's interesting. It's undermining. It's anything positive and negative at the same time. Ironic and moronic. So that's the way I kind of picture this. That's the way I kind of picture this. Because next, Texas SB4 is a no-go. Now, it's kind of in limbo. It's kind of in limbo, family. Texas SB4 is semi in limbo, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Bear with me with all the reading here, but I just want to make sure I lay the groundwork, make sure I give you context. Officials permission to jail and prosecute migrants suspected of crossing the U.S. southern border without authorization. An appeals court late Tuesday blocked the state from enforcing its controversial immigration law known as SB4. Okay, this is that law that Texas tried to pass so they can really stop and slow down illegal immigration, allegedly. And we're going to get on that alleged a little bit later on. Early on Tuesday, Supreme Court denied a request from Justice Department to avoid the initial Fifth Court circuit. Blah blah blah. The High Court allowed SB4 to take effect. So it did take effect for several hours, though it's unclear whether Texas arrested any migrants under the law during the short time span. Now, I think Governor Abbott, he already won his re-election. I don't know if they recorded them arresting migrants in that several hour period that SB4 was legal on the federal side of the House. It stated that order blocking SB4 will stay in place until the Fifth Circuit rules, until the Fifth Circuit rules on Texas request to allow the law to be enforced while the appeals court considered its legality. So there's just a lot going on with that. So that Texas thing, I don't think it's going to happen. All these different levels of court, the district court, the regional court, the Supreme Court, the high court, the lower court, they're keeping it in limbo. Okay, they're keeping it in limbo. And sometimes I think that when these things are kept in limbo like this, that both sides are benefiting, both conservative and liberal, Democrat and Republican. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I am a Democratic conservative and I'm a Republican liberal. They got all these terms, they mix and match. And people say, don't get the two contorted and twisted and confused, that every conservative is not a Republican and not every Republican is a conservative. Hey, listen, all you guys in the basket. All you guys are in the basket. That's how they confuse people. B1 to the family in the room. I see you guys. B1 guys. Nice to see you guys here today. It's just a lot going on, family. It's a whole hell of a lot going on, and everything is from illegal immigration. Everything is essentially stemming from illegal immigration. This is one, and now all these things were going on 10, 20, 30 years ago that American citizens are now finding out. And believe me, these politicians hate social media. Oh, Lord, they love social media when they're running for office. But when you come to find out the dirt and the legislation and the bills that they pass, oh, they hate social media. All the social media sites, people giving content and information. You go over to TikTok, people making short video clips, powerful impact information, giving people the news, the truth, trying to shut that down. You know, Mark Zuckerberg is always in court getting sued for whatever reason because of privacy laws. And to me, that's just to undermine, Meta/Facebook essentially. And listen, I'm not putting on the case for none of these social platforms. Okay. I'm not putting on the case for none of these social platforms. But what I will say is there is not enough that politicians can do to put barriers and safeguards in order to stop the flow of information. Have you noticed that? It's hard for them to do that. Even with COVID-19, they actually went out against people who were the influencers that you shouldn't take the jab. They went after our brother Rizza Islam. That's one of the key. I think the misinformation 9 or 12, some weird number or something they labeled them guys. But as we look at it, family, SB4 with illegal immigration and everything that's been stemming around that, I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. I really don't. I don't see it. So as I'm looking at this, it makes me think, under federal law, it's illegal for companies to knowingly hire undocumented workers. Under federal law, it's legal for companies to knowingly hire undocumented workers. The Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 makes it crystal clear. Tyson Foods thought they could dance around the law, turning a blind eye to the status of their employees and all the pursuit and maximizing points. And here's something I want you guys to think about. Here's the kicker. While you guys are hardworking Americans going out there, some of you guys are working 2, 3, 4 jobs. You have your regular job, you get off your job, you do the Uber, you do the Lyft, you do some sort of extracurricular activity to bring in money, wherever that may be, just to make ends meet to a certain degree or live a decent living. While Tyson Foods allegedly was reaping the benefits of cheap labor, reminds me of what America was built on: free labor. Damn you, Tyson Foods, you just went to cheap labor. They were paying undocumented workers under the table, allegedly, exploiting their vulnerable status to drive down wages and undercut honest American workers. And some people are like, oh, they were going to pay them $16 an hour. Well, if I'm going to cut, if I'm going to fire, if I'm going to let go, if I'm going to hand over the pink slip to 13,000 people and shut down plants, that makes sense, does it not? But when you fire 13,000 people, and then there's reports, and then there are investors that are coming out believing the reports, however they get their information. Because listen, all these large corporations, they have a board of directors, they have these blind investors, they have these angel investors, whatever, right? They have all these type of investors. They have special interests in the company, meaning they are large stockholders, family. That's what they are. And when they start to sell off their shares, that company become less valuable because now they're owning their own debt. Essentially, instead of spreading that to a private investor or someone who has a large part of the company, right? They're taking revenue, they're taking income out of the company, raises the debt threshold, and lowers the value of the company all at the same time. So I wanted to break that down. This is the thing, family. I guess for me, it's getting to a point where these things are just going bonkers for me. It really is. So let me show you something here. We're talking about Tyson Foods. I wanted to point this out to you guys very quickly here. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Here we go. Let me blow this up. Let me blow this up in the Jumbotron here. I looked up, I said, which state has the most illegal immigrants, right? California with 10.4 million and climbing, Texas with 5.2 million and climbing, so on and so forth. Because what I wanted to know is, now we understand the access that illegal immigrants have coming from the southern border, like states like Arizona, New Mexico, California, Texas, okay, Florida. And how they have easy access into those states. So they should have the most. But then I started to think, I was listening to Professor Black Truth, and he made a really, really, really good point, which I've made a couple times before, but he had a little more context to it. So shout out goes out to Professor Black Truth. And I said this, who are hiring these illegal immigrants? Who's hiring these illegal immigrants? You have politicians stating that we're going to provide housing, apartments, we're going to give them stipend, we're going to give them credit cards, they're going to get their driver's license, they're going to get their work organization, you can garnish a gun, you can do everything an American citizens can do. And they work hand in hand. So who are hiring these illegal immigrants? That's what I want to know. Who's hiring these illegal immigrants? And we're going to jump on that a little bit later, okay? But I want you to have that question in the back of your mind. Who in the hell are hiring these illegal immigrants? That's all I want to know, okay? Tyson Foods boycott coming from the Daily Mail. I know a lot of people don't like the Daily Mail. I got it. And it sacks 1,300 staff at Iowa pork plant and offers job and lawyer packages and bid to hire 42,000 asylum seekers in New York. Campaigners are urging customers to stop buying Tyson Foods amid its wave of closures of poultry and meat processing plants across these states. And it goes on to state that people in New York, these asylum seekers essentially, were going to receive a wage of $16.50. I don't think that's much in New York. Okay. Okay. This is Tyson's Chicken. Tyson seeks to double its number of immigrant employees to 84,000 this year, including roles at the plant in Springdale, Arkansas. Have you guys noticed that we are still in a state of inflation, of high inflation costs? Have you guys noticed that no one's speaking about inflation? No one's going over inflation. Have you noticed that no one is speaking about inflation? So if American citizens are losing their job, if American citizens are pay is getting decreased, taxes are rising higher, and we're getting laid off, and then we have a multitude of different countries around the world, not just south of the border, family. Don't forget they're coming from India. Don't forget they're coming from China. Don't forget they're coming from the continent of Africa. Don't forget they're coming from Latin America, the Caribbean, etc. Central America, North, South America, and the list goes on and on and on. And I have nothing against the people. Don't get me wrong, family. I'm not against legal immigration, and I'm not against any immigrant. I am against the unlawful entry of our country, where people are not being vetted, where people are not being verified, because any country should look at their landmass. Any country should look at their infrastructure, their resources. What can our country essentially handle? See, this is how I want you guys to think about immigration from an overpopulation standpoint. Can a country, not America, I'm not even including America, can a country be overpopulated? Like India, like China, where China put up laws. At one point in time, they lifted the laws because their birth started to decline. But nonetheless, they put up laws that you can only have 2 children at one point in time. I think it was in place for like over 10 years. Like you couldn't have more than 2 children because of overpopulation. And I pose this question to people. I'm like, you don't believe that America can become overpopulated? Shouldn't the country be looking at that? Because there's housing communities that are being popped up all over America. And at the same time, we're losing farmland. So how could we eat at the same rate, at the same cost, if we are decreasing farmland and increasing housing communities? More people than the food we produce? That don't make any sense. Again, family, that's the questions I'm raising, and that's the thought-provoking I'm trying to give you. It says it is illegal under federal law to discriminate against American citizens based on their citizenship in favor of non-citizens of any kind when it comes to employment, the legal action group posted online. Tyson Foods, based in Arkansas, they made $53 million in sales last year through its Jimmy Dean Hearshire Farm, Ballpark, Right, and Adele's and other brands, okay? In the state, CEO Donnie King, who has led the firm since 2021, during which time it has funded the campaign chest of President Joe Biden. It funded the chest of President Joe Biden, Nikki Haley, and others, according to Open Secrets. We're going to look at Open Secrets because when I thought, I was like, oh man, he's probably getting like $2, $3, $4, $5 million, or he's getting $10,000, the limit of supposedly, and it's don't supposed to come from a corporation, supposed to come from a person. The case spotlights fears about migration across the U.S. border, and the asylum seekers are replacing Americans, especially in meat packing and other undesirable jobs amid record low unemployment. Okay, that's what they're stating. Now let's go over to Open Secrets, and we're going to look at the people that they're giving this money to. Now, they gave money to Donald Trump. They gave money to almost everybody, but it wasn't significant. And when you look at these numbers, family, I can't say that Tyson Foods is in bed with the Democrats on paper from what open source. I can't say that Tyson Foods is in bed with the Republicans, because when I'm seeing on open source, the numbers, I'm like, that's not even worth, like, it's not even worth it. But nonetheless, it states here, organizations themselves cannot contribute to candidates and party committees, okay? So it has to be, I guess, directly. Now, you see Ted Cruz on here. You see Katie Porter. You see Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley only got $4,000. Joe Biden only got $4,000. That's not a lot of money when you're running a million to $1 billion campaign to be president again. Okay, and I'm giving nobody a pass because again, we can look at this a little bit more. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you these numbers, family. Let me show you these numbers. So Donald Trump got a little bit of money as well. Wasn't much. Bear with me as I scroll here. I got to go all the way down to the bottom. Here we go. Where is he? Donald Trump. Right here. They only gave him like $2,000. They gave Joe Biden $4,000. They gave Donald Trump $2,000. That's not significant numbers for a $53 million corporation who wants to put or keep a person in place so they can do their bidding of low labor workers. I'll say that. Okay. So that really doesn't support the narrative. Okay. Now, Tyson Foods faces boycott after report claims company hires migrants. Now, let me see here. All right. I just wanted you guys to see that very quickly that Arizona, one of the border states, is now asking for $752 million so they can house migrants. Okay. So in recent days, there's been a lot of misinformation about media about our company. This is Tyson Foods, family. And we feel compelled to set the record straight. God damn it. We're tired and mad at you guys lying on us. Tyson Foods is strongly opposed to illegal immigration, and we led the way in participating in 2 major government programs to help employers combat unlawful employment, E-Verify, and the mutual agreement between the government employers image program. Okay. They're against illegal immigration. That's what Tyson is saying. It continues. Since being founded in 1935 in Arkansas, Tyson Food has created jobs and employed millions of people in states all across America. Tyson Foods employs 120,000 team members in the U.S., all of whom are required to be legally authorized to work in this country. We have a history of strong hiring practice, and anybody who's legally able to apply in those job listings. Tyson Food does, listen to this, after saying all that, family, listen to this. Tyson Food does have a partnership with Tent Partnership for Refugees, and in 2022, committed to hiring 2,500 refugees. If they're refugees, do they have a work permit? No, I'm not seeing that. You get what I'm saying? Man, they speaking out both sides of their mouth. According to the organization's website, however, this figure is much lower than the number initially reported by scripts that sparked boycott calls, because at first they gave a larger number than 2,500 refugees. But Tyson Foods said we don't hire illegal immigrants. Okay, that's what Tyson Foods said. Outrage was also fueled by Tyson announcing on Monday that it will close a plant in Perry, Iowa that had about 1,200 employees amid a drop in demand for some products, according to Reuters. Yeah. Tyson has shut down 6 plants in the past year. So 6 plants. My apologies, not 9 plants, but 6 plants. Okay. Now, multi-million-dollar fund manager ditches Tyson Foods, saying meat giant citing U.S. workers to hire 42,000 asylum seekers. Is this a woke liberal takeover of America? Lord have mercy. A conservative fund manager has pulled investments from Tyson Foods, saying the meat and poultry giant has alienated its consumers by laying off American workers and hiring 42,000 asylum seekers. Bill Flake, CEO and co-founder of the $79 million American Conservative Values Fund, told Daily Mail that he has divested from Tyson and won't buy any more stock in the company. See, wording is very important. I know you guys, you understand that wording, verbiage is very important. He won't buy any more stock. And as I told you earlier, investors were selling. No, they're not selling. They won't. And just to back up the claim of Tyson, these are some of the same words they use on their website. Okay, these are some of the same words. Okay, this is regarding to immigration. Some of the same words that I already read. Okay, since being founded in 1935, Tyson Foods, etc. But they didn't talk about them hiring of the refugees. Okay, Tyson, put that on there too. I want you to put that you hired, according to scripts, 3,500 refugees. So you said all of this. They have to go by E-Verify mutual agreement of the government image program. Cool. You have 120,000 team members in the United States. And here's the thing they stated. Okay. I want to point this out. This is how many employers they have, 120,000, all of whom are required to be legally authorized to work in the country. So they're going to put that on the federal government. That's all they're going to do. Let's move on. Now, this is coming from TexasLawHelp.org. TexasLawHelp.org. Okay, if you guys want to look this up. What employment rights do undocumented workers have? Okay. What rights do they have? All workers, including those who are undocumented, have the same basic employment rights as other workers, regardless of the immigration status. There are several different laws which provide for these rights. This section will provide a general summary of some of these laws. You can go look that up. So supposedly in Texas, according to TexasLawHelp.org, that undocumented workers, undocumented individuals, regardless of their immigration status, and believe me, an illegal immigrant, an illegal alien is a immigration status. All right. In Texas, lawmakers don't mess with employees of undocumented workers. That's interesting. In Texas, lawmakers don't mess with employees of undocumented workers. And this is the shit I'm talking about. When you look at it from a very singular point of view, family, what you notice is Governor Greg Abbott is putting in barriers in the waters as he should. He's putting barbed wire in the water as he should on the border. That's fine. Why are the Texas government officials, those politicians, don't send out the attorney general to investigate, build a team, build a squad, whoever, build a task force? Why aren't they going out cracking down on the people who are employing undocumented people, illegal aliens, illegal immigrants? Why aren't they forming a team? See, it's almost like you should be fortifying your position and attacking all fronts, because if they know that they have a padre, they have a friend, they have an amigo, whatever the case, that they're hiring people on that ranch, they're hiring people on their farm. Don't you think they're going to come from Mexico? They're going to come from Honduras. They're going to come from Haiti. They're going to come from the Caribbean. They're going to come from Africa. They're going to come from Asia and come get those jobs. And don't get me wrong, family, everybody who comes through the border is not here just to work. There's other activities that happen where people come across the border illegally. There's other activities that's occurring. And I know you guys know what that is. So miss me with this. When the lawmakers don't go after the people who are breaking the law. who are breaking the law. It's kind of like if, and this is probably not a good example, if I go inside of a bank because I know that my cousin worked there, and every time I go inside of there, she breaks me off 10 grand from the bank funds. The bank knows about it, but they get insured from another entity. Every time I'm giving the money, I'm not stealing it, I'm giving the money. But I'm being encouraged by the money. I'm not being, maybe it's a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. They're being encouraged, they're being motivated, they're being enticed to come to America illegally and working all these different jobs. I keep telling people, when people come to this country illegally, they're not just working in the fruit farms. No, they're not just picking oranges. They're not. They're not just picking corn. They're not. That's one of the jobs, but they're working at manufacturing plants similar to Tyson, allegedly. You see them working on your house, development companies. Come on, man. Because here's my thing, and maybe I'm wrong. In order for you to be a citizen and someone who knows this information, please put it in the chat or the comments. If you become a citizen, isn't there a language test for you to have like a basic vernacular of English, a certain lexicon of English, a certain vocabulary of English? Is it? I'm just saying, because I'm just thinking, I'm looking at other countries and I want to be a citizen. I know that you don't have to know the language in some countries, but you can become a permanent resident. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lot of countries where you don't have to speak the language or anything like that because they probably have it in English, and you can become a citizen. You can be a dual citizen. I'm just telling you, I really don't know. But that's why I essentially assume. I'm very ignorant on the fact. And the reason why I say that is because you see people working on housing, they point to somebody within their work group that speak English, because none of them speak English. I mean, can you say hi? Can you say, I don't know. I know a little Spanish, right? Hola, como está? Que pasa? Grande jefe, patron. I mean, I know a couple of words. I threw a bunch of stuff together, family. So don't quote me on that, okay? I threw a bunch of stuff together. But they're not even going after the people who are hiring the illegal immigrants. Man, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Now, this how you know. This how you know there's much a bigger picture, and it's both sides of the party, right? Here's my thing, right? It's kind of like we're family. And we're trying to be rich. We're trying to get super rich, but we don't want anybody to know what we're doing. So what do? Let's say we're a family of 10. Okay, I'm just throwing out an arbitrary number. We're a family of 10 and say, hey, you guys start fighting, start a big commotion, right? And everybody's gonna be filming that while you guys are across the street robbing the bank. While you guys are across the street robbing the bank. Nobody knows what's going on because it's a huge brawl. You got 4 family members. You probably involved some other people who wasn't part of it. You guys are throwing bricks, running into cars, all pandemonium, right? Now, granted, you might get locked up, but you're robbing the bank. You guys gonna be millionaires. They're gonna bail you out pretty soon. What's the point I'm making? As we're looking at the Democrats and Republicans, and this is why I tell you I do not affiliate myself with any political party. Just Black empowerment. As a foundational Black American, don't lean left, don't lean right. Just lean to the truth. The Democrats and Republicans, the liberals and the conservatives always seem to disagree and fight all the time. Very seldom do they agree on the same thing, except when it's a bipartisan bill and they all get some out of it. Except when it's a bipartisan bill and they're all getting something out of it. But in politics, you have to compromise. I got it. The Democrats and Republicans are fighting. The Republicans are fighting against illegal immigration, while the Democrats are trying to, in my point of view, flood the country with illegal immigrants. And when you look at a lot of the business that are being funded by or being worked by or being employed with illegal immigrants, then you understand that. Then you say, well, that money must be going to the Democrats. And then when you look at the companies, when you look at the ranches, when you look at the farms, these guys are in red states. These guys are Republicans. So and then you saw, look, whoa. On this point of view, we're creating laws, we're trying to pass SB 4, 9, whatever. We're going to stop illegal immigration. But we're not going to go after the people who employ illegal immigrants. And we know that, oh yeah, we're going to take them to Chicago. We're going to take them to New York. We're taking them to all these liberal cities. We're going to drop them off in black cities and towns. So not only can we get rich, we can undermine black people too. And no, you niggas ain't getting reparations. I said it. I said it, family. And no, you niggas ain't getting reparations. That is what they're saying. Because I have a lot of boot-licking Negroes in my comment section, white and black, Blanco Negroes and Negroes. In my comment section, talk about no man getting reparations. You know, people be hating on reparations. I'm like, so everybody can get reparations except us. Listen. Don't worry about it. It won't be your tax dollars. Even when I asked someone, and I made sure to ask 2 people who were Democrats and 2 people who were Republicans, if your taxes didn't raise, if you didn't have to pay more in taxes, do you support reparations? And I kind of asked it like this: do you support reparations, or don't even care if they get reparations or not, or you're against reparations? 3 out of 4 stated that they were against reparations. And the 4th person was like, well, if they get reparations before they get it, we have to ensure they're going to do the right thing with the money. What? Listen, if old girl driving an 89 Honda Civic and she want to go buy a Lambo with a reparations check, so be it. If Tyrone and Ray Ray want to move to DC or Washington State or Oregon State and California, where recreational marijuana is legal, and they want to buy a pound of it and smoke until they choke, so be it. Everybody is always in our pocket. But here's the thing: it's not about the money. I mean, in my opinion, family, it's semi about the money, but it's really not about the money. They don't want black people to shine. They don't want black people to get out of the conditions that we're in. They don't want us to raise our status. See, now everybody can look down on us. Everybody, we're criminals. We're the poor. We're the degenerate. We're the nasty. We're the illegals, right? They know if they give us this money, because they know our history better than we do. They know our history. They know our history better than we do, family. They know our history better than we do. And that is why they're taking their damn time cutting the check. They saw what we did out of slavery. They gave us nothing. As a matter of fact, they had to hire us back to go work back on the slave fields because none of them can do it. They didn't have the skills. And they didn't have the manpower. And even out of that, we started building towns. And people keep saying, oh, that Blacklogic is so a long time ago. How are we ever supposed to build where every time we do, they destroy it? They give us land, homestead, take it back, homestead. The next president came in and took back the land that they gave to the freedmen. And we went over this a couple of times, family, the drowning of towns, the burning of towns. But pull yourselves up. We don't got no damn bootstraps. Lord have mercy. I see everybody in the room today: Royal T, Mac Peoples, Tanya Marie, Muscle Payne, Black Diamond DSB, my warrior brother Jermaine Anderson, thank you for moderating, sir. Digital documentary states, remember to call ICE on payday to keep your payroll low. Oh man, boycott Tyson Food and never buy their products ever again. Okay. Number one coon, Solid Snake, what's going on, brother? He says this both a Republican Democrat effort either to increase inflation, keep the wages low through oversaturation of the workforce, and a way to fund our reparations. Solid Snake, brother, I'm very proud and surprised. I'm very proud and surprised. Well thought out comment there, brother. It didn't sound coonish at all. I was trying to detect coonery. I detect no coonery in that message. Good job. I'm rocking with you with that comment. Okay, miles apart, reporting in. Nice to see you, sir. I'm glad everybody can join me here this evening. Very important topic. This kind of not just to, and I know what you guys are saying, boycott Tyson Foods, not just to focus on Tyson Foods. No. Don't just focus on Tyson Foods, family. Don't just focus on Tyson Foods. Focus on all these businesses that you know or heard of that hire undocumented workers, who hire illegal aliens, who hire illegal immigrants. I want you to focus on them. I want you to focus on them because at the end of the day, family, I want you guys to think about this too. What if you found out that a third of the business, a fourth of the business in the United States hired illegal immigrants and they knew about it? Are we going to boycott everyone? Are we going to boycott everyone? And again, no. I want you to understand this. I am not stating that you should not boycott Tyson Food. And I'm not saying you should not or should boycott Tyson Foods. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if reports come out, investigative reports come out, and the sources are verifiable, that there's a third or fourth of the businesses in America that are employing illegal aliens, undocumented workers, then my question to you is, are we going to boycott all of them? What if it's your favorite candy bar? What if it's one of your favorite organic foods? What if it's one of your best products for hair care or lotion? What if it's majority of the products you have in your house or the food you have in the house? You see what I'm saying? When does it stop? And again, I just want you to think about it, because I'm not for or against to influence people to boycott or not to boycott Tyson Foods. I just wanted to raise that question because believe me, I just believe it's bigger than Tyson Foods. Tyson Foods is the first one to leak. I just think there's other people out there. There's going to maybe other Americans come out and they're going to say publicly or just maybe audio and state that my company, and it's going to be a Fortune 500 company, they also hire illegal immigrants. They also hire illegal immigrants because when we look at the industry, family, when we look at the industry family, when we look at the infantry, I want you guys to think about that because it's very important that there's other businesses out there doing the same damn thing. Okay, doing the same thing. Let me see what Miles Apart is saying. He states, here in the DC area, shout out to my Washingtonians, not the West Side. I'm from DC. Area of the road, constructions and the building construction sites are operated by migrants. Okay, and here's the thing. Family, we don't know the ones at construction site are illegal or legal. Do we really know? We don't really know, but we know. But we know, do we not? But anyway, family, that's all I have for you guys today. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. I wanted to be 30 minutes. I'm at 50 minutes. Lord help me. You guys have a very wonderful evening. I'll see you guys on Friday. Okay, we're gonna chop up some good game there as well. You guys have a great and wonderful night. Be one.